and finances. But I also want to give credit to the government, say they don't make some input into it. Then they don't commit national budget, say they will give you $6,something thousand, $6.5 million. They don't also go ahead and tell we say all the procurement we will need, the tablets, the vehicles, the computers we will need. They will just do the assessment and ensure that we go through the procurement processes and send the person who will say if we're able to procure the items and they send out to the government and Kinfona. I don't want for saying a finance make we postpone the census. I don't base on saying on technical grounds. Then they actually talk say we not go postpone the census postpone the census beyond 2026 because of finance. Where government don't make commitment, it don't take actions, don't show say government is ready for let fund the census. They don't set a basket fund. In the 2025 budget, they don't commit $6.5 million where go cover the activities of the 2025 for the census.
Watch the breakfast show on Liberty Online TV, and we also tell you now part of we headline story and say we go discuss this morning issues we get for do with statistics Sierra Leone, the decennial census waiting for whole December 2026. Well, now the studio this morning for can talk about that. I want to welcome the director of censuses, GIS and environment, and also the national census coordinator na statistics Sierra Leone, Wena Abdullah Ibrahim. Good morning and welcome to the breakfast show.
Good morning. Good morning to viewers.
All right. Well, people go remember say we statistics Sierra Leone after we President B.O.B. don't do an official proclamation for say this December 2025 Salon forget the decennial census. Statistics Salon this BNTM be also pull notice to the public for let them know say then postpone the December 2025 census to next year when at December 2026. Of late now we see they don't pull a notice so then they update the public. OSI and OSI then they so far on the preparedness for this particular census. But we all know say after we statistics salon been postponed the census, the All People's Congress APC party been get major concerns them where they be raise for sake the postponement of this census. And one among the major things them when they been talk about, them been believe say the government of Sierra Leone not prepared enough in terms of finances for let them go able for fund the census where them believe say na one part the reason them we make statistics salon postpone the census. Well, today at the breakfast show we go can know exactly waiting happen where statistics salon postpone the census, and later in the program we go also get updates on how far they now with the process ahead of December 2026. We make we get Mr. Abraham at the studio this morning, but let we just start the conversation around the concerns and we be done they come from the All People's Congress and the public in general after we have been postponed the census. Let we just go back after the president do in proclamation say this December 2025 Salon for hold the decennial census. What think can happen with the change?
Good morning again to viewers and good morning at the studio. And before the president actually making proclamation, statistics really be on depends on internal preparation for ensure say we actually do the decennial census. In fact, the 2021 census will be doing a rehearsal follow actually meets the timeline for 2025 the senior census when everybody are aware of. So statistics really be write up a proposal and send out to the government and also development partners say we want for conduct the census in 2025 when the senior period we don't want to miss it. So that proposal being for go through the AG get for do all the necessary and constitutional measures, then they are in a parliament approve then the president eventually get for make the proclamation. So the statistician general and some other team members also be coincide for letting go now the United Nations Statistical Commission when they actually would get most of the principles then and the standards then what they get for conduct censuses across the world. For instance, UNFPA get for be seriously involved in it because that's the core work that one day for ensure say we get the population and the population characteristics of every country. So we discuss the proposal at the United Nations Statistical Conference in New York. Then we get for talk say they say, oh no, we go support Sierra Leone. We find out say Sierra Leone actually don't rehearse, they don't do a lot of things then during the 2021 population housing census for support them. So they decide say they go set up an assessment team where go come on from ECA, that are the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, where they're based in Ethiopia. Now then actually the UN December put funds and tool for let them support the technical aspect of the census. Then also the UN Census Bureau says they will involve in the team, and the United Nations Population Fund says they will come. So they come in January for let them do the assessment. When they do the assessment, you can see from the report statistics in terms of human capacity, and also we experienced and really know say we get the capacity for conduct census. But if you get for do census according to United Nations standards, you get for conduct the pilot census in 1 year before the actual counting. What do you mean by pilot census? All the methodology we hope for implement during the census, you for don't test them a year ago, and if there are needs, then they follow you amend them before the census. If you don't do that one day, so when they can in January, they can find out say, even though we get the capacity in terms of the human capacity for conducting census, certain technical things and they will not be done put in place. For instance, the satellite imagery will be used, and the picture of Sierra Leone will be used for 2021 be done already outdated. We also get certain softwares that we can use for even do the mapping, the cartographic mapping. We don't be done procure some of them things then they yet. We not be done agree on waiting and waiting for actually do and how for procure them. So they suggest to we say if they get for come in for support for law get a credible census, because it is important not only the timing but for law get a credible census where it will be accepted by all Sierra Leoneans and by all development partners. Then suggest to we say for postpone the census for another 1 year. So we on the assessment closing date, then we also get an agenda say then we reveal the reports to key sensitive key and government officials. So be able to get the secretary to President Dr. Emmanuel Gaima for let come for let waiting then say. So not to from government say for postpone census as some of we brothers and sisters and they claim. Now from actually the international community and even statistics, we say quite honestly certain things that they will be supposed for put in place for do like the pilot to not before don't do. I will not just say we will use something the number of EAs that we'll get for 2021 and do pilot census. We'll before don't rush up with, and so we decide say well it is good we will still there within the destiny period, so we can able push the census to 2026.
But before the presidency make the proclamation, now in communication with Statistics Sierra Leone, on not be know all of this before now they left officially for announcing now December 2025 this decennial for don't be.
In fact, now Statistics Sierra Leone through the Ministry of we supervise the Ministry of Development. Now we advise the government for let make the proclamation say we for conduct census. And at the decennial period, they have to meet with it. If we not been doing at that time, they again say people then before say they say, but why when I see don't see the president not announce about the census, they can't announce now in 2025, say when they do it in 2026. So now we actually advise government.
In this case, let we look at consultation before now they do the postponement. How consultation been done, like who that they wanna reach out to?
Well, where the president actually make the proclamation, we put the coordinating teams then together. We get one. The secretariat who can get now Statistics Sierra Leone, when they pull from all experts within Statistics Sierra Leone, where they can meet on a daily basis for assess how the census for go and also plan for the census. After that, we set up a technical committee. The technical committee, not only Statistics Sierra Leone, we bring all development partners, universities, and other people, stakeholders who they involved in census, so they get knowledge about census. We don't put that committee together and inaugurate them. We also been get an advisory committee, we are the highest body way for actually manage the policy aspect of the census. So we don't put an advisory committee comprising of all political parties in the country. APC been the SLPP did then all other relevant people then for the paramount heads or paramount chief parliamentarians, they are all part of the advisory committee. We don't also go ahead for put in place district coordinating committees, because census really in a rural people then get so we don't put a district coordinating committee. So we are all part of this assessment team we come. Then they attend the assessment team, the meetings they get, maybe they part will review the report. So we do a lot of consultations. And we actually do we agree on follow push the census, not to for any other thing, but for ensure that we really come up with incredible census. Because if you rush up for do anything can happen at technology.
Mr.
This advisory committee where you just make mention of, so waiting at their role and during the sitting them, they can get opportunity for raise concerns, so they get maybe if they represent an organization or political parties, they can get that platform they outside and they raise all them concern them to now.
Exactly. The advisory committee, now the highest committee, policy committee for the census. We are at the head of the advisory committee, now the council, the statistics council, where the council now, His Excellency the President says they appoint the council chairman. So the council chairman are in the head. So all political parties then get their representatives then they. When we can do any activity, they can force to get a technical committee meeting, just like I don't tell you about the composition of the technical committee. Then whatever input to the technical committee make into what we don't do and what in the future plan, we they come up with to the advisory committee. The advisory committee now in the endorse and say, as per the technical preparedness of which this particular activity wanna don't do, wanna go ahead for do this one.
I ask this question because looking at the All People's Congress and concern them, after we don't pull word say they postpone the census, then they set up a committee where they say a technical working committee look inside some of the issues and challenge them. We then see statistics alone they get we make not able for all the census. One, now because of funding, the money where the government of Salon say then they give to not even reach budget want for do the census. And again, then talk about illegality of the proclamation where His Excellency the President be make for announce say December this year statistics alone for begin all the census. All of these are some of the things them where they outline, and according to them, they're ready for resist any attempt for Lona postpone the census
Beyond 2026.
2026, according to them, it is achievable.
Right.
But there are things one are supposed for do where they feel say one are not do right.
So not only All People's Congress actually with the hope that they can able then can set the technical committee for advice them, and whatever advice we then get from the technical committee, they can bring account through to statistics. They can bring account to statistics really through the advisory committee representative. We also get international committees them where then say also get committees where they assess. As I say, this time around we get an international technical committees where then say they verify all of the activities then what they do. For instance, we get the ECA, we get the World Bank, we get UNFPA, where they all dependent committees, and we can get a weekly meeting every Tuesday on updating on the activities of the census. So they all can join virtually. So All People's Congress actually get rights for set their own technical committee for look into the challenges then within they foresee. But what is important is we postpone the census for law really get everybody on board this time, because really census now about everybody. So
you're talking about okay.
I mean just want for learn on this. So like when we say I see the press release, I mean a little bit surprised because All People's Congress first been sent to we through a letter or sent to them for let them nominate somebody for representing at the advisory committee. Winner Sufia Kabo then saying he's already on the WhatsApp group. He can't attend the inaugural meeting. The second meeting of the advisory committee, we see a different person will come is a consultant from All People's Congress, and that's now in the come represents All People's Congress now on technical issues. They ask him, of course, we don't be there at the meeting at that time. They ask him, are you representing SAPP saying a consultant? So I feel say some break in communication be did because Sufia Kabo, where they attend meetings, we for relate all of or we for tell the All People's Congress things the way the activities of the census not been there again. And at 2 meetings then we don't hold. So they really get right for get a technical committee for let's then say look at the challenges and advise statistics Sierra Leone such that we will able actually come up as a nation. We'll come up with a credible census so everybody for use for the development or transformation of this country.
You talk about census being an inclusive process where it's supposed to be. And right from the starts of the planning we want to been get first for the 2025 one I don't push to 2026. National Election Watch new now one other body where we be interviewing at this same breakfast show we been get a lot of concerns regarding no opening the space for ensuring to incorporate institutions like them for the parts of the process. If we talk about inclusivity, the election management bodies them now, which one they wanna get now the advisory committee, for example, we're really active there?
Well, specifically, we know they look at and organizations then where they manage elections or where they actually monitor elections. We they look at organizations who feel say then appropriate for letting them play a role in the census.
So they're not
like no. Like the new way they talk about, they are part of the publicity committee because we feel say this is a civil society organization where we feel say at least themselves can use an infrastructure for reach out to the people and tell them say census they can and also help. They are part of the publicity committee.
So why not publicity committee body like they defend themselves?
Even in all other censuses they will don't conduct. Now civil societies then are publicity and outreach committee then can they. We know we bring them pan technical committee because we feel say they don't really get the technical. We know we say they don't get the technical capability, but by law, not to then supposed for provide technical capacity for the conduct of the census. So now they then they.
But the same law we talk about, Mr. Bremer,
yeah.
now the same law, the national coordinator, Reverend James Lahai, who talked to on the last day again, on these same issues, for it feel like say all the other census that will be done they happen from the get-go, una they get civil society involvement at the technical level rather than publicity level where you say that they wanna place them.
James Lahai, I remember actually don't write a letter to Statistics Sierra Leone for let you get a one-on-one meeting with we, but quite honestly, I don't see we don't ever involve civil society at technical level. Civil society now actually at outreach level, and I didn't do. And no matter.
Society who they talk, not so just civil society. They are specifically working around issues we get for do with elections. And if we talk about census, it's obvious say they get for use major of una data then for electoral purposes.
I not deny that, but actually we know they bring. Where we conduct census, we not get specifically in mind say this census who they conduct now for let play this role in electoral process. We know everybody get right for use the data. The government also get for use the data. The Electoral Commission will use the data. So we not go specifically bring organizations on board because we feel say then they deal with election. That means we try for politicize or lost the primary focus of the census. We really now for count people and get people their characteristics, and government use the data for planning and international community, and universities themselves use them for research.
So what are some of the critical issues then we make una feel say una not go meet the timeline for this year?
As I don't say, I can still emphasize the background is we want to deliver to this nation a credible census. And as at the time we do the assessment, we say we self-evaluate ourselves after we don't conduct the midterm population and housing census. Now we self-evaluate ourselves in conjunction with UNFPA. We look at all the challenges that we've been go through during the midterm census. And therefore we say if we conduct a census now for improve on the challenges there. So one of them have been really the technical setup of the census, because this is now a digital census. It's so expensive for conduct. There is so involved in infrastructure that you get forget the infrastructures there and test and get them in place before you do. Because for instance, if you collect data through digital means and send out to the server, you will not go midway between the sensors and the server crash, or sometimes the transmission process crash. So you have to be very sure of what you don't put in place for ensure say anything that don't happen. We collect the data and get it on the server and use it for analysis. So we really feel say at least at that time on technical grounds we've been supposed for push the census.
On technical grounds we have been supposed for push. I'll take you back to the midterm, the controversial midterm census. So be all a lot of people be resist say that census not been timely. Even the same civil society organizations that they talk about, so the media, political party, even international community at some point, the World Bank being back out of that particular process. But yet still, una go ahead and do them. If una just conduct a midterm census, waiting change where una feel like say technically una no prepare.
And I was happy when you say talks gonna be a controversial census. Yes, it be controversial because now be a new concept where it not be new to Sierra Leoneans. So beaucoup people then based on their own personal opinions, they be look at and say now something where it gets some not proper and it gets some underlined and outcomes then way not will be acceptable by people. Well, I will tell you, Khadija, you know, the midterm census come and have been an opportunity really for Sierra Leone, because Statistics Sierra Leone, they don't get into these HISWA projects when our World Bank they fund certain countries and then give we money for level transform with data collection and also with data methodology. So on the proposal we'll send to the World Bank, we'll tell them, say, well, we don't conduct census in 2015. We the plan for conduct a decennial census in 2025. So the internationally accepted means of conducting census now, if we go digital, and digital means you really get for rehearse about it. So we say, okay, let's conduct the midterm census since money day for rehearse the process so that we will perfect the 2025 census. So a lot of people then be misunderstand them. We have people then will be seeing institutions so then be saying, no, we are not comply with this, we are not do this, we are not do that. But I can tell you the benefits then way midterm census really can with now Statistics Sierra Leone and also Sierra Leone. It don't change with data collection methodology. We don't move from paper-based data collection to digital data collection when I know the accepted means, and you get a lot of advantages because when they use the digital means, they correct the errors as soon as they collect the data. We now can also produce the result on a timely basis. So it minimize error, it bring out credible something. So the midterm census, like how I may also get from the press release where the APC, the All People's Congress, actually pull out and say UNFPA not being the part of we. I want to inform the entire nation, say the UNFPA been there with we. In fact, during the midterm census, the UNFPA actually come up with a technical census advisor where be there with we. They come, will all go through all the census processes up to the pilot, up to the point where the World Bank be saying now they go for pull out. So the UNFPA been there with we. Nobody know for say UNFPA not been there with we. UNFPA been there with we up to the point where they go launch the preliminary report of the census.
Based on all what you explain, we gonna postpone the decennial census. You not make mention of anything we get for do with finances. Based on your explanation, where this part of the discussion are one way the APC believes say now main reason waiting make gonna postpone because government not get the money ready for get the census done. In terms of budgeting, take we through on a budget for the census.
We budget, how we can develop the budget. We can technically look at the number of EAs we get from the previous censuses. We do some projections that will determine how many EAs would they expect the time when they get the census. And all other things we related to that EA, they ensure that we get the census right. Now on that basis, they will put tentatively, the budget can change. We get about $37 million. And we also get from the press release, say government already, as at the time with the assessment, before even the assessment team they come, the government be done pledge commitment, say again for fund the census, ready for fund the census with the international communities. I will tell you, Mabel, as we seated here, the government don't open up what we call the census and account within the send money day. And for the 2025 money we will need, and also for the budget, the national budget, government don't commit $6.5 million. As we sit on here, so from the basket fund where they don't create, we can request for money as and when we want her. We know for now, government don't send to we $2 million. We contrary to what with brothers and be claim say now only $400,000. They don't send to we $2 million where they cover the pilot of the cartography and also part of the cartographic exercise we hope for within June and July.
So financially, Statistics Sierra Leone will not get issues of finances for run the census.
I'm not going to sit down here and say we not get issues of finances, but I also want to give credit to the government, say they don't make some input into it. Then they don't commit national budget, say they will give you $6.5 million. They don't also go ahead and tell we say all the procurement we will need, the tablets, the vehicles, the computers we will need. They will just do the assessment and ensure that we go through the procurement processes and send the person who will say if we're able to procure the items and they send out to the government and Kinfona. As I'm seated here, we have done that. The government don't accept they don't already tell the person, says, well, we can go ahead with the procurement process for let you get anything in there. We don't also meet with the international community. One Thursday, or is it Labor Day, the UN community not be get on holiday. We come, the SG do some presentation to them. They're happy. They say, okay, now that we don't push the census, now that we all don't agree that the census can be conducted in 2026, we very hope say the census will be a credible census, and therefore any financial gap, hopefully the government okay able step in. They're ready for it. Let them say give them an assistance. So we know the government no give we a clear. We still get feed payment money, where sometimes international communities can kind and support government, because government gets a lot of competing needs for the resources we get.
Right. So that I just want to ask, because you keep saying government don't commit for Guna waiting day now on a budget, but making
waiting the national budget.
Waiting now on a budget for
yes,
conduct the
conduct
census.
the census, yes.
But making a commitment doesn't mean that the money already there. Just like how you say, the government of Salone, not so secret, say they are struggling with funding. Then get other competing priorities them where they need for meet, which clearly shows say the issues or the rumor of finances, they're very close to true, Mr. Brema.
I don't want anybody feel say finances go make we miss the 2026 the timeline. Oh, we don't fix. We get the timeline.
We dey talk now about this one.
Nah, they can't.
The reason we make una postpone.
Well, I don't want for saying a finance make we postpone the census. I don't base on saying on technical grounds. Then I actually the talk say we not go postpone the census postpone the census beyond 2026 because of finance. Where government don't make commitment, it don't take actions, don't show say government is ready for let fund the census. They don't set a basket fund. In the 2025 budget, they don't commit $6.5 million where go cover the activities of the 2025 for the census. we don't request for about $2 million. They don't give. All the procurement items that we will need for the census, the tablets, we need up to about 26 to 27,000 tablets. Government don't say go through the procurement process. We need vehicles, we need motorbikes, we need boats for going to riverine areas. Government don't do all them procurements and we don't agree, say then go fund them procurements and however, we still get feed allowances. But because the census actually we deal with the international partners, they still don't make commitments. Say then go help government, because they know, then they work with government, they know exactly say government get competing needs for the resources we didn't get. Now as I talk to una, so the two consultants they all don't get, the CTA and the census technical advisor we don't come from, we don't they work with you from July and September, we all the work now UNFPA the funder. We also then go get the cartographic consultant. We don't come when and then go do this master training so na bo instead of UNFPA they fund them. UNICEF they all don't step in. They don't make commitments. They say they will come in for data analysis.
People might step in now, but along the line, if there are issues, then go back out again. Like waiting be happen with the midterm census, UNA and World Bank.
And as I say, when we do the midterm census, we do self-evaluation. One of the things that we come up with, not being way we not depend on a single string of funding, will not be the World Bank. Where the World Bank them on one or two technical issues, we may get some misunderstanding. Then also we, as you say, a lot of people will look at the midterm census in a controversial thing. So they actually come up with a consolidated campaign. Not be fine. They're not being controversial. And just a new concept. We have never done it before in Sierra Leone. But what are countries they can do? You can come up with census.
Was it successful?
It was.
Because during intending day, other people will be the advice, especially political parties like the APC, telling people and say, "Una no partake," and we all been see the outcome, the struggles, even una people them when they go certain places, then and they attack and say, "I know why you count me." Una be the reason concerned, then they are
exactly.
So you call that process a credible one or successful one?
I say that a successful census, because if you look at the objective of the census, we actually achieve a lot of the objectives that will be set the census out for. For instance, we've been say one of the problems we've been there with the 2015 census is that we'll not be able to disseminate the census information or data at locality level, at village level, at settlement level. 2021 now, we don't get all the localities, all the villages them. Now this country, we don't get unique codes then for them. Even with development partners then can go, they say, but one forget the population and the population characteristics of this particular settlement, we can able to produce that one day. Also, we've been saying we rehearse for this census so that we will able to bring digital technology. As I said before, now this midterm census we don't migrate from paper data collection to digital data collection, such that nobody no get way again for tamper with any census data we come, because it can at the server. We get a dashboard where other people then say this year. Nobody will say, but change this figure, it will never work. So those are some of the achievements. So my appeal actually is that kind consolidated campaign will be getting, let people they not conduct the census, let come on board, let every Sierra Leonean come on board. This is a unique opportunity for us to make sure we really get the population and also the population dynamics of this country.
Una been satisfied with how una been conduct the midterm census? Does that mean even though one of our major funding partners them when have been the UNDP at that time, the World Bank, sorry, at that time been back up for the process? Una not get no regrets when I've been continuing.
I wonder what do you mean by regret? I mean we set up a project. We set up a project, a plan. We say we want for pursue. And for
una not be supposed for continuing because issues them been there.
Yeah, we know say then challenges them be there. Then challenges them be actually the way people then say no allow them for let them count you this not illegal or something. Then the World Bank say pull out. I also want for commend the government where the World Bank be pull out to be supposed for close the process. But the government step in, even though not being outside budgetary plan, they not been planning and they go take care of the feed allowances. They come in and pay the feed allowances and we conduct the census, we count people and we see the data on the server. And at the data on the server we'll see now based on her and say, well, okay, this is the population of this country.
When been introduced the technology use of iPads that particular census where plenty people will be questioned because now length salon be length the iPads way on been used for conduct that census day. Where they talk just now in terms of waiting on the plan for the next census, the decennial one, you make mention of procuring. Does that mean this time around salon they buy the brand new iPad and we're not going for use and not go for length again?
Exactly, and that I say. So Ministry of Finance been tell we say because government don't tell them, they don't get a cabinet paper say them for fund the census. They don't tell we say let we try for identify a person way for procure. We don't do that. We don't go through all the due process, going through all the procurement procedures and processes. We don't identify somebody, so we they buy brand new one.
Let me look at the timeline for the next census. What stage on the right now? Waiting to happen so far.
So waiting to happen so far is first and foremost at the secretariat level. We don't actually get a project document where we partners and say don't review, and we hope that we will roll out a pilot cartography. His Excellency the President or top government officials go actually launch the census at that time. They together with partners UNFPA. So the project document would be a public document so everybody would look at. You look at the budget, you look at the processes, you look at the activities, then we'll say now the activities they have for achieve before we count in 2026. So if anything they now possibly you get question, you can go to Statistics Sierra Leone for do that. So we don't finalize that one day. We don't get just for fast track. We don't get this cartographic consultant. They don't come. We don't do the desk review of all what we get. We don't look at the challenges. We don't select people for law do a master training because we don't advertise for law get people then for mapping. We don't. The advertisement close on the 15th of this month. We don't get. And human resource minister we say we don't get over 11,000 people we actually apply for the different positions. So that don't close. So in preparation for let we train the people that when they come on mapping procedures, now we could be critically select 20 people from Start SF, from the Division of Censuses and Geographic Information System, and also the data science people that would be get experience with the 2021 census. We say, Lord, go host them and get a 10 days intensive training on mapping procedures. So by the time we get people, the HR didn't say, we say these are the people where they don't select, they don't go through interview. Now they get for do the mapping. We're now ready. We get team where we can roll out the training at regional level and district level. So now that will just conclude yesterday.
You're not new to census process them because you know one person we don't the interface with the media whenever census process they come, and you're all aware of the issues. We didn't say census. When I can get plenty noise around the process, suspicion, counter suspicion. When I don't manage all the issues there. 2025 again, the same issues them don't begin come up from people the way they feel suspicious. Say statistics salon might want for place some UK. How this one when I don't postpone now to 2026 go be an inclusive census, everybody partake, no noise, no commodity.
So what we don't do, Seth, I think the communication and director and also we don't sit down, we don't get a communication strategy because it's very important. Sometimes people they can get perceptions based on the information we didn't get.
Right.
Yeah, so we don't set up that one day. The UNFPA, be the think any consultant, be the fee say, we for try forget an expert in communication of censuses. We say tell and say no, we get a lot of communication media houses in Sierra Leone. So with a plan for get and memorandum of understanding with media houses, so that because there is a budget, there is a of course, we get a budget. We get a budget for it, so that we not say we help for disseminate because we not go the interface with we directly in statistics Sierra Leone and get the facts. So we not get the facts, people they not go able and tell people then the wrong thing. We go able to change the perception or get suspicion of statistics Sierra Leone. I tell you, Khadija, statistics Sierra Leone we not even get the capacity for influence the data where they come on the server. Quite honestly, we not get the capacity because of the methodology.
Even though methodology go day and self on they go digital back this time around, but human beings are involved, whatever you must say. When I might don't learn from the past census when I've been do, and this one now I had in terms of giving work to people them, doing background check for ensure say the one them we go for do this work. Now people that will qualify for the job. Waiting when they look at.
Well, one of the challenges we get from the midterm census was that even the recruitment, we've been just nominate people. Even though not be a digital census, but we nominate. We get Sierra Leoneans there. We say, okay, this person, you as director, you can nominate this. Other people, stakeholders themselves, they nominate people, then we then go on the census without much background check. So by standards, international standard, we say people then for apply, we put all the qualifications on the portal. So they don't apply. We don't say the application where they do, they indicate who side and fee say they're convenient for work because now some of the challenges and that's back home they get. For instance, you take somebody from Kailaon, you say let go work na Karine. Even the language, you're not able to interpret some of the questionnaires to the people there on local languages. So we say let people that indicate then the areas where they want for work. So when they do the recruitment, actually based on qualification, they will do some background check, and we also check people that were ready for work. Because one of the things that will be actually find out, Khadija, was that when people then, whether be the top on nomination, people then be they nominate people we already get job. We already get job. So when they go through the training, they be feel say like that kind of paper-based census, when they go give you the questionnaire, you can just go sit down under mango tree, so until you fill in everything and bring and come back. But the technology, when I be tablets, they allow you for let you fill in anything if you actually go to the household or go to the EA, because certain distance from the house, from the building, where the technology they open to you. So when they find out now, say they're not going to do what they do in 2015, they pass on the tablets to people then for let them go work for them. But because they deal with huge number of people, over 20,000 of people, so that's a bigger for great chaos. But the fact that we they go do conduct interviews at district level, we they involve also the district stakeholders, then when they get for them now each district for the recruitment. They say go give you some information, say this will pick our way to apply. So now we know say be now picking now na it don't apply, but na free time a base and they pay work, you know, go work. So therefore, Lord give this work to these people. So the employment get for really be inclusive for Lord make sure so we get the right people there and committed for let them do the work.
As you talk about the inclusiveness of the recruitment, again, you need for get an inclusive census, we mean say all stakeholders for join and work hand in hand with una. Now we don't be a concern from a stakeholder when the All People's Congress. How una don't see them as a leadership na Stats SL for look inside and concern there and call them, let una see them and try for address the concern, then look at the recommendations where they make and try for allay them fair say. The need for work with una on board for ensure say una get a credible census.
No, that day we do and we don't put all the modalities then in place even before they raise concerns. As I tell you, Sufian, Kabo, Naina being they represent APC. In first way stand for talk, the first thing we talk is say APC really they on board for law get a credible census. We don't say one or two misunderstandings they don't come. But usually what you can do, we don't do any activity with a bring account to the technical committee as I say. So by Wednesday next week, hopefully we get a technical committee. On Friday we get a advisory committee. We will already tell where all people's congress hopefully go daily. We tell them on all the procedures and we don't go through. And if they get any concern, you know, within that room, they will okay able to resolve her. Because we really need them on board. This now inclusive census. We'll not get for go to that extent again. We will all get for the draw strings for let the census spoil. This is not big money. You know, this is taxpayers' money. We government they committed money there. We for make sure say the outcome actually benefits the country. So we get for ensure we bring them on board. They begin Sufian. Now we don't get somebody else where they can represent. We'll try the census secretary where they na statistics Sierra Leone. We don't even tell and say let write letter to APC for let them renominate somebody who will be on the advisory committee. And even the advisory committee this time round, they don't set up a committee that they are looking at the budget. I don't know if APC is part of it. That they are looking at the budget and ensure they then say involved in fundraising. So we get for involved. We don't involve them. We then be don't deal with we and we they appeal at law all day together. If they get any concern, I think the SG's office is open. Then also we get a census secretariat at Statistics Sierra Leone. Let them just call and even visit for see why this and how we improve on this. I think we can entertain some of them today.
States earlier, where statistics Sierra Leone, sorry, ona they do on a census them, ona not they like reference to any specific election, say for election or do on a census. Ona just they play on own role and show say the data then they. But for the political parties them, the lens when they look at them, now this data when they collect, they need them for the elections. Let's just quote quickly part of within the All People's Congress APC Party Secretary General Lansana Doumbia have been mentioned part of in statement now the press conference where they been called for sake of this same census. It been reference section 33 of the 1991 Constitution and recommendation 38B of the Tripartite Committee report, we say census data published less than 24 months before general election should not be used for boundary delimitation. And according to them, it said this means this delay when I don't cause for postpone this decennial census. It means say they no will get forget this data and a non-democratic process will get for happen. This data when they can pull, we when I done the work, it get for day 24 months before the next elections. We then concerned but.
Well, by the digital calendar, actually, what we count within 2 months, we can able to come up with a preliminary report. It's a fact, say the census data we can produce and can use them for boundary delimitations. They can even use them for do some shifts in with national boundaries. They can bring new districts, new chiefdoms, this and that. But I want for we left that aspect of it, statistics Sierra Leone. The fact that we push the census on technical grounds and we know say finance not to the
but then they look at them say it go for affect the whole calendar of the elections because una don't push them, and this is one major concern within they against. So this shift not just because na technical reason, but it affects the country elections calendar,
which is fine. It go affect me not to me not go determine whether it go change the election methodology. But what I try for say is the APC then at the advisory committee, when at the highest body, even they are above me. some of them concerns instead of me as director, they can discuss and they can discuss and first at the advisory committee. There is also a constituted parliament where before even they determine a number of seats. I think parliament says they can approve that. I think the end channels and they can wait and save the rather than we distract statistics Sierra Leone actually from technical work. I don't really want to dwell too much on political aspects. I know say Mr. Dumbuya is right. He can raise their concerns and they I also understand say the tripartite been get for talk say we not for use no other census information again except the senior census. So that means if we get for conduct any midterm census in the future, nobody not for use them for any electoral process. And I also know say census data for the 2 years before the election.
Like you say in concern right, so then kind legitimate concern here where it clear say it will go for affect the boundary delimitation of the next elections. How statistics Sierra Leone go able for help for fix this because now this one are data one are the pull and depend on.
So maybe what I try for say is I say in concern a right. But statistics Sierra Leone, the data they collect not only for election, and I just a minute component use of it.
But there are political parties now election and concern about.
Now elections and concern
and
about.
If this data, by any means, then go for use them part of the next elections, we make if they don't begin see loopholes, then they draw no attention. They rather than dismissing it. Why not having them for a sit-down talk?
No, we are not dismissing it. What I'm saying here is the APC Congress is actually part of the advisory committee. Where the advisory committee, they above the management of this, the all other committees in the management of the census. And they see them for go discuss and they I don't allow lost sight of the other uses of census data. For instance, now through the census data we estimate, we do poverty estimate. We can able know whose poverty really concentrated in the country, whose are the poverty hotspots. So even if you are in governance or you intend for come into governance, the information they are very important for you. For let you know, say poverty is concentrated here, and poverty by gender. Now this are the estimate. Then they're very important. So other demographic characteristics, then they wouldn't say the need for know if you intend for coming into governance because you base the policy on it. But start SL just want for let we concentrate on the technical aspect, and that's that electoral process. You really, Mr. Dumbuya get right for bring up them concerns in there. I'm not saying you not get right. I know they say there is substance in it because I mean, not go sit down there and talk about it. I just look at and say, Mr. Dumbuya gets right for come up to the advisory committee with the highest body. Can you imagine? Now, the highest body in managing the census process. Because even if the technical committee say, well, this particular process we want to go through like the cartography, all the technical bits we don't get it right. But the advisory committee, for one reason or the other, go say, well, no, let's put a hold on this, or they will give clearance. So now the highest body they can discuss at advisory committee. In fact, the advisory committee, when the chairman, when the council, when the council of the council rep of statistics Sierra Leone, when they hold their meetings, the statistician general, the secretary to the advisory committee. So that shows how important that committee is. When the director, I know they attend that meeting day. So at that level, they can able to go discuss them, and the advisory committee get right for even sit with government officials, including president. As I'm talking to you now, I see they are trying to even make an appointment because they don't form a subcommittee. They try to make an appointment for sit down with president and say, okay, this time we don't put 2026, no, we don't miss them. And let it not be as a result of financing. Therefore, we want to do some financial engagement. We are even meeting one-on-one with other donors and for let them put it. So not go miss that 2026 dates they would don't put.
Based on your experience, with campaign census, what make you feel say whenever there's a census, political party then can become so GT and suspicious any moves where una make na statistics alone?
And sometimes, it's difficult for you explain person in your personal thinking about you. You understand what I mean? And you will look at political parties, then interest can be really pan. The deficit, the census really determine election results. But Khadija, the census population bracket is different from the voting bracket. census, they take care of everybody with a count, with a target for count everybody within the country, whether not picking way eligible for vote or not somebody way big way they vote. So first and foremost, instead of you put all your eyes on the electoral process, first get people, get involved in the process and count everybody. So when you count everybody from the data what they get from the census survey, exactly, because sometimes you able to analyze and in terms of age groups. So you don't know now say 18 to 18 and above. Now there were the eligible people they waited for vote within Freetown area. So you encourage your people for let them get the voter registration. So, but if you're not able to predict that one day from the census report, it's very difficult. So, let's get the census right by cooperating with Statistics Sierra Leone and also the government for law ensure say we get the census right and all other things can follow.
Talking about that, how independent Statistics Sierra Leone be in all of this? Because so many times we suicide political party in the and say the government of the day can they at to the advantage of this data we can come out, because now you can decide when they do boundary delimitation, then of the day they have for agree for setup. How independent on our work be from that of involvement of the government of the day?
Maybe actually the institution are a semi-autonomous institution, and what that means is we get funding from Statistics Sierra Leone like any other institution at the country. They also, but most of the works they do also now, they are funded by international partners because they really want to say, policies for be data driven. And I really want to say, quite honestly, I don't see too much of political interference. As I say, well, I don't see too much of political interference. What I try to say is that even this postponement between me and me God, it's not a government initiator. Now the technical assessments now initiator now I could call Dr. Emmanuel Gaima for let's see the assessment report. Let's see the assessment report. For governments, there be just one law count in 2025. But again, if we do rush up with things, certain things, and they will forget in place. If we not do well, people then get for come back to this studio say this was not right, and therefore this census say are not credible. But law all come on board. We know they talk say Statistics Sierra Leone. And now they get the monopoly of knowledge. You get a lot of other experts within the country and even outside who are Sierra Leoneans. We get good knowledge about how digital data collection for day and how analysis of data for go. So if we all come on board, we make with necessary suggestions, we can able make the process right.
All right, continue for the waiting at the studio. You don't get plenty messages, then we don't come for you. Lord, try for read some of the messages, then so you go respond to some of them comments, then we don't come. This first one where they take from Facebook, they come out from Frederick Bilal Mansare. He said, "Good morning, Liberty TV. Thank you to the management for this wonderful discussion. I want to say that Statistics Office is not well prepared to carry out the census. After His Excellency announced the date last year, they are now saying they are not ready. This is a serious concern. The census is very important for the country and proper planning should have been done earlier. His Excellency needs to take action and address this issue. The postponement shows poor preparation and it affects the progress of our country."
The one where I go first take from the YouTube channel, Ahmed Tisede said the midterm census was conducted to maintain power. Despite global disapproval, it was set up to revert to the PR system. 2028 is PR again. Bravo SLPP, cling to the power by all means.
Abubakar Sidianke Kanu, they say, Salona country bobs. 2021 we get census even when not to be in census time. Now when at the right time, then postpone them. All this na a way for the 2028 elections.
This one from Jibril Bangra is say when the census comes around, I really hope that the population of Kenema does not exceed that of rural Freetown.
For the Mustafa Toure, they say, I think the NCRA was brought in to capture people's DNAs and the necessary biometrics. Government should invest the $37 million in the NCRA and forget about a system that has always been ineffective. Census is too political and any government in power always capitalize on it. We have all the institutions, but it's always a waste of resources because politics is what determines everything that we do. All these guys are saying is to protect their jobs.
This one from Mohammed Bangran on the YouTube channel again. It says Statistics Sierra Leone is doing a good job. I think the census methodology is purely digital, which makes the process credible. This process will ensure all enumerators work in their assigned areas.
All right, more messages we don't come. This one is from Usfren Kamara. They say, following the consultation of stakeholders and a team of technical experts, the timeline of events seems to be cloudy and inconsistent, despite consultation of partners and stakeholders in January this year. Where is the missing link, sir? What is pinpoint reason for the postponement of the decennial population census, despite government had already pledged $35 million from the total of $37.5 million?
Abdullahi Lukule na the YouTube channel say, is there any connection between the postponed 2025 census and that of the 2028 general election? Also, were consultations held with opposition parties and relevant stakeholders? A question where they ask.
This one they say, sir, what is the state of the infographics data portal hub, which is meant to support and store the geographical information? Also, is there a reason why the consumer price index was not published for the past quarters? Thanks.
This other one from Ahmed is say, as a director, if you are not aware that the census automatically changes the electoral calendar, then we are concerned.
All right, the final one I will take, they will go come to Mr. Brahma for respond. They come out from Evangelist Solomon Ken Cabro. He said, good morning, Liberty TV. The man in the studio is a man with integrity and respect for God. He will not follow crook politician. I know him well.
Right. Well, before we come to the final one, we go look at from Mystic Nadwazak. He said the midterm census brought mixed feelings among Sierra Leoneans as a result of the timing. Just that, as a nation, we shouldn't use census for political gains, but for national development. I hope Statistics Sierra Leone will ensure they do the needful by ensuring the upcoming census is focused on the purpose of development and proper decentralization. With their message, and then we come over to you, Mr. Bremer, for respond to the concerns them where the viewers and raise for you.
And the messages them, but they try for classify them, but actually you get one set of messages where they talk about the preparedness, where statistics not be where PPR make could postpone the census. Then also somebody they talks, they say the digital methodology is good and that will allow people then for let them be counted. Then somebody they talks, they say the midterm population census, he hopes say this 2026 census can my population not go be more than the rural Freetown population. And so as I say from the beginning, we not really want to forget a census where at the end of the day, people then begin to say, well, because when I miss this procedure, technically, this census not credible. And now that make they emphasize, say, there been some technical preparedness, we make we say, well, now we see how we able postpone this census for a year and ensure that we follow the timelines and get a credible census. Like when somebody say this now a digital census, maybe a digital census means say if we able to carve the EAs and we can do the cartography for 7 to 9 months, we know all the EAs then we're able to determine the number of people that will they employ during the census 2 weeks period for let them go na their EAs and they count. And why is it the count? We get a dashboard where the information they flow from there. So from every section in the country, we will see the information where they can say this Kenema district, Nongowa Chief Don, this section, now the data this way they flow. And at the end of the day, we invite all political parties, the advisory committee go be part of it and negotiate them. So the population will be count in 2025, where it shows say Kenema population being passed, the rural Freetown population, I wanted people to use and as a benchmark. It is important for letting them cooperate with this census so that we will prove data and I always can able to prove things wrong. So we'll prove whether it is true, say the Kenema population pass and rural population.
The public then cooperation being caused that shift?
Because me and you two know, people they be say, but don't get yourself counted. And the data we'll see from the server, definitely the data will get for publish. So we can see whether Kenema don't really grow. If I follow proof, say whether Kenema don't grow or other regions they don't grow past other region. But we try for say within 5 years period, a lot of shift can happen within the population. A lot of shift can happen. So now only we will support the census. We make sure say we all put our hands on it and ensure that we get a correct census. That would be really fine. Somebody say census, all governments they use census reports, census results for their own waiting self. I really want to left that side. I don't go want mix up with the technical preparedness. If you can't today to me, tell me say whether which infrastructure I don't put in place for ensure say we get a credible census. I will tell you say this time around they go full digital. We just don't pay about $100,000 for all get S3 now the organization that way they provide the mapping softwares for digital for carve the EAs them and get them. We don't pay for that one day. Them money they not too simple money. We try to forget the Joe app where instead for the user and for put her into the tablet and we put the infrastructure in place and ensure that as then they carve the EAs, we get to GIS specialists that we they also will get for the look at then information there we'll get quality control people that we then get for the check. We also get international quality control people that we then say get for the check the data for ensure say it right. We get all the experts then within the technical committee na Sierra Leone. We get people from the university we then say get for look at the data. So if we all did together, it will be a fine work. Where somebody go say okay, I don't say this and this EA una waiting say una don't carve. But we'll find out say this EA in terms of the condition of carving an EA, this don't jump this boundary and EAs enough for jump national boundaries, this and that. So okay, we'll get some of them. Are we? So the work go fine. So where they go panel technical presentation, where statistics Sierra Leone go don't do technical presentation to the technical committee. We know say experts in there, then say go pick holes on also try for provide input for long improve on it. I then kind thing they I feel say I for be concerned about. Really how they get for use the census report for political something. I feel say Mr. Dumwe or other people then they get a lot of other channels where they give channel that one day. But let them support we. As I'm talking now, I just want, as I get back to the office, we get the APC send a letter to we say Mr. Sufyan Kabo has been replaced from the advisory committee, and therefore this person now we don't bring now as an expert for leading at the advisory committee. Communication gap between we and them.
We're in the APC.
Yeah, we're in the APC because Sufyan was there. He was the first nominee on the advisory committee. The second advisory committee, they say no, we have replaced him. No official letter. So the person that has been replaced and Dumwe are not even there on the WhatsApp group where we are there with the same information, because if you there on the WhatsApp group, that misconception where they get say we just select from one region for all go do master training. You know before car up because now statistics young people staff now they will select will go do master training.
In all of this, you want to assure the public now say statistics Sierra Leone for the decennial census una get a clear financial roadmap for money, because let we not reach a point where una go stall the process and say funding on the una don't get a clear roadmap as to how the finances are coming. We
are in it with the international partners. I don't tell you, governments don't make a young commitment. International partners themselves don't make a commitment. We don't get meeting. We don't do presentation to all UN agencies in this country. They don't make commitment. We they on one fundraising commitment with other donors. I'm very sure say finance no will really be a problem for conduct this census by 2026.
All right. Let we let we get assurance again from you in terms of ensuring that una open the process, like you've been saying earlier, communication gap with it, una try for amend them and ensure say all needed body them way they work on this, then they part of the process. Now an assurance way they give the public, say Statistics Sierra Leone not go make the thing shady una open unto everybody.
Exactly, Mabel. You know, we say for the champion, some of them things there. We also get integrity for defend. No, quite honestly. So some of them concerns they don't get. Some of them concerns they don't get. So we publicity and we publicity committee will be inaugurate. We they hope for get another meeting. With the publicity committee. Probably that time they will not be able to get all publicity institutions and for let them attend. Will they increase that space? Will they increase that space and ensure say we get everybody involved. We get everybody we will talk about the channels. We get everybody we will get individual channels for disseminate the census activities. We're very open. Now make we don't set up then district committees. Then district committees they are all set across all districts, not skew onto just one region. We ensure that all organizations them we suppose for manage then still and they all the panel district committee. So just get one post, one group of people don't go just you don't say they say but skew this information or make and that. I want to assure the public say what you want na then corporation.
And waiting for do corporation.
Waiting for do panel corporations. For instance, if you get any misconception about the census activity, statistics office is open. We have a secretariat at statistics. We also get we website where we don't put a specific email there and also contact. If you get any concern, just go meet with we. As I say, don't already write letter to the statistician general and he sent it to me. Say they want to have a dialogue with us. Well, why waiting make we not be done able to get that waiting survey because we get a lot of activities and we not really want to get new specifically for talk to them as an organization.
But when are they request?
Yeah, whether they don't request or some other organizations they don't request. So they get the publicity, broad-based publicity committee second meeting at Brufis Hotel, Liberty TV go there, other people then go there. Now they would. That my first, in fact, I'm first time this for Canada studio. I really impressed. I'm happy that we don't do from 98.1 and I can't see this kind of outfit. I'm happy that you are still in the media team. So this promise I will go through. Right. So we will sit down, we'll do memorandum of understanding, like what would you do with the SLBC. We'll not do none of it. So just want to do all anything a day before even we launch the pilot cartography. So that if anything now, Khadija SSF or maybe SSF go to talk something about say, but they'll defend statistics or then go tell people them about statistics. Sierra Leone.
But go present the facts.
I'm sorry for that. This is why I say defend. I think it needs to be. So when I go once when I get the fact, when I media people, you are independent. Yeah. So when I go say, hey, no, but statistics Sierra Leone not being, we not see this as statistics Sierra Leone. No. So when I say the office is open. Not for sit down at Liberty no more. Now for make an appointment with we say when I want to see the SG, the statistician general, then we can now when I can able go see. We get a pool of place to say consultants and all can do this. So when I can go get some information also with the consultants then. Then I also want for talks now. I say to we conclude. Are we concluded now?
Yes, sure.
Yes. So I want for conclude say let we brothers and feel free. We just don't get an AWP. With all the other support that UNFPA don't provide, they don't give you an AWP, the annual work plan. They push money there. They say, well, this money are really enough for ensure inclusivity. So we get for the ensure, say we get the technical committee meetings, advisory committee meeting, publicity committee meetings. They don't even suggest say the team songs for the census, not to Statistics Sierra Leone for the one. We don't advertise that back. For let people they come up with anything a day. So I will get for go talk to Ansumana. It has to be an inclusive process.
All right. Many thanks, Mr. Brema, where you join me this morning for can clarify some of the concern that we don't come out so far and hopefully the new postponement dates una go commence the official census process. Many thanks for you joining me this morning, and also to you that watch we don't contribute to the program. You ask a question. We hope say Mr. Brian able for answer some of our questions then, because them been plenty. Now they end the breakfast show for today. Musa Saukoma and Dennis Camara with Samuel Thomas, and the technician they will give support to the production team for let this program meet you. Mina Khadija Bangura, they say continue for watch Liberty TV throughout the day. We get different contents they will produce for now, but issues they will happen all over the country. So till we meet back, have a good day.
All right, and Mevel Kabade, so get a good day till we meet again. Goodbye.
Let me see this one.